Next, a very, very powerful speaker and very close friend. I'm so excited to be able to welcome Matthew. Before you come up though, Matthew, I gotta tell a story about you. So, when 321 first started, like I mentioned, we needed hands and we needed people. And there were people that said yes to being a part of it. And Matthew, you were one of those people. And y'all, I'm not talking like first couple months, first couple weeks. No, I'm talking first day that 321 Coffee ever served coffee. Matthew Schwab, you were there. And that means a lot. And you were there after that. You were there rolling up your sleeves, helping contribute. You have helped be the catalyst for 321's growth. You are such an inspiration to all people in the community as an advocate for why people with Down syndrome and with all different types of disabilities make this world a better place. And you are every day proving that inclusion is good for everyone. Thank you for being in our community. Please give it up for Matthew Schwab.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Lindsay, for that awesome introduction and allow me to be part of this lovely event. So I'd like to start by sharing a funny story. A few years ago, I worked at the movie theater in my hometown. They were really excited to hire me as a food server. But we quickly discovered that being a server in a dark theater with stairs was not the best job for me. I had 2 epic soda spills on my first 2 days. They were really cool about it. And instead of giving up on me, they gave me a chance. I discovered I was a really good ticket taker. I mean, if they hadn't given up on me, they haven't given me the job, or I will not have the opportunity to discover something that I'm good at. And I would not have this great story to tell. What do you do for a living is a common question. And I bet most of you have an answer. Imagine if you have to say, I don't have a job, or even, I never had a job. This is the reality for many adults with disabilities. Only 15% of adults with intellectual disabilities are employed. And it doesn't need to be that way. Throughout this conference, you'll hear a lot about why disability inclusion is important and matters. I want you to hear it from me as well. Inclusion, including people with disabilities, is good for business. Studies show it can improve your organizational health, improve the perception of your business, even earn tax benefits for your business. You can do all of these things if you employ individuals with disabilities. We are loyal, reliable, dedicated, and punctual employees. We also have positive and measurable effects on your leadership development and collaboration. Don't take my word for it. There are studies to back me up, so just Google it. If you want to make a difference, and you want to make money, which of course you do, employing people with disabilities is how you do just that. Here's what a past employer has to say about me. I think it's safe to say that Matthew has a fan club. that loves to see him at our restaurant. And Matthew's smile can't help but brighten their day. It's important for our team to learn how to embrace working with people of all abilities and unique qualities. This brings me to my next point. Including people with disabilities is good for others. As I've mentioned before, of the 6.5 million Americans with an intellectual disability, only 15% are employed. And I mean, 15% are employed. Yet companies that are committed to recruiting, training, and retaining people with disabilities report positive responses from their coworkers and customers. Who wouldn't like to see more empathy, patience, or understanding in the world? Well, interacting with people who have disabilities makes us more empathetic, patient, and understanding. And that's a good thing. It makes me happy that I can help others learn and grow just by being me. Well, speaking of me, including people with disabilities is good for me and people like me. I need meaningful employment. I need to be as independent as possible. I need community. Like most people, I've gained so much from the various jobs I've had. Skills, knowledge, experience, confidence, and self-control. Working helps me grow and gives me purpose. I wish everyone with a disability had that opportunity. More importantly, I wish everyone else had the opportunity to work with me or someone like me. We're awesome! Including people like me, it's good for business. It's good for the community. It's good for me. And that means it's good for everyone. I started Matthew Schwab Speaks to help change the way the world sees people with Down syndrome. As an adult who has Down syndrome, I have a unique perspective. Here, my story gives hope to parents of babies with Down syndrome. It shows everyone, community members, teachers, employers, family members, and even sometimes other people with disabilities, what is possible. I had Down syndrome before I was born. I'll have it my whole life. But as you can see, it is just one part of me. I'm also an employee, a speaker, a friend, a fiancé to Lucia Romano. And the list goes on and on. I am someone who loves contributing to the world around me. Feel free to notice my deficits, but please focus on the overwhelming ways I am able to contribute to your business and the community. When you give people like me an opportunity, we don't just gain a job. We gain confidence, we gain independence, and we also gain purpose. And we want, and we give those same things back to the world around us. When businesses choose inclusion, it is good for everyone. Thank you very much.
right, real quick, Matthew, I've got a few questions that I know everyone's wondering about. First, I talked about how you were part of 321's first team. You've had a lot of jobs since then. Can you just list a couple examples of how you have used 321 as a stepping stone for more?
Of course. So when I first started with 321 Coffee, 321 Coffee was barely a thing, and it was awesome. I didn't just do barista work. I had interest in behind-the-scenes aspects. My first involvement in the behind-the-scenes aspect was being on the advisory council, and I was reinstituted the advisory council as a way to guide 321 Coffee during their move from the craft service, the craft part of the farmers market, to a more permanent spot. And then after that, Lindsay saw more potential in me and personally hired me as the first ever independent contractor when 321 was a nonprofit. Through my purview, I was able to institute programming that capitalizes on the increase of finances and customer retention and new customer interaction. And then from there, Lindsay had this awesome idea of why not pioneer the first ever 321 Coffee show called Matthew's Minutes. And it was a weekly thing that Lindsay and I did along with our editor, Bill Lamb, and our brilliant Michael Evans for social media. And we were exposed to, you guys are exposed to the behind-the-scenes aspects of the 321 Coffee company, which I know for you guys, you don't always get to see the behind-the-scenes. And so that's why we did that.
That's awesome. And then after that, I mean, you've worked at Ruckus, Cary Estate Planning, all sorts of stuff, while also starting your own business, Matthew Schwab Speaks.
Yes.
Y'all, I don't know if you've realized, but we are in the presence of a world-renowned speaker. Matthew? Matthew, where are you heading tomorrow?
Tomorrow, me and my mom, Michelle Schwab, are going overseas almost to South America, to Trinidad and Tobago for me to speak.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. All right, and one more question. You mentioned that you have a fiance.
Yes, I do.
Can we give Lucia one more shout out?
Lucia Romano!
Matthew, one of my earliest memories of you, this was years ago. You said, one day I'm gonna propose to Lucia. I can't wait. And I was like, that's so exciting. And I wanted to hear about the plans. And you said, yeah, for Christmas, I'm asking for either an engagement ring for Lucia or the Lorax. Either one's good.
I eventually got the Lorax movie on DVD. Years later.
You eventually got that ring?
Yes.
And you asked that question? And what did she say?
Yes. She said, yes, babe, it's definitely a yes.
She said yes! One more time for Matthew and Lucia. Thanks, Matthew.